survey was done to see which characters from the Advent account most people would identify with. So I'm going to ask you, and you can participate here for a moment or two. How many of you think the one that you identify with, or your favorite Bible character in the Advent story would be Mary? Raise your hand. Mary's your favorite. Okay. How about Joseph, the earthly father? Okay. How about the three wise men? In fact, we don't know for sure there was three. You'd have to have been to the party last night when Linda passed out, and you'd either fill out a sheet about Christmas carols or about the Christmas story. And some took the carols, some took the story. And we found out that there was 3 gifts given. But going back to the Word, which we stand on, but how many of you would be with those 3 wise guys if there was 3 of them? Got a couple. Okay. Anyone for Herod? Well, I was really hoping nobody would raise their hand. I'm really hoping nobody would raise their hand on Herod. How about how many for the shepherds? Now, we all know that baby Jesus is the main character, so I didn't even include him in that because he's above and beyond all the rest. But, ironically, ask that question across the world. Everybody identifies with the shepherds more than any of the other characters in the Christmas story. Now, most of us are comfortable with the Christmas story. And I fear sometimes maybe it's become so familiar, so much a part of us that we kind of pick out the part we like. And then we may say, well, some of that might just be kind of legend. We don't say it, but maybe we think it.
Jesus is the Christ of the world.
I didn't catch what you said.
Jesus is the Christ of the world.
Jesus is the light of the world?
He'll be coming.
Amen. Jesus is the light of the world. That's what was said?
Yes.
Amen. Thank you, Mrs. York. Amen. I'm up here far enough away that you can hear me because I've got a big mouth, plus I've got amplification. But I can't always hear you. Amen. All right. Yes, Jesus is the light of the world. And he's what the whole story is about. But what makes the Christmas story so amazing is all the other parts of it that so many people played a part that God had pre-designed for them to play in this. And I don't want us to become, make it too sentimental. It's a very real, literal happening. It wasn't figurative, as some people are trying to say. So I guess I just want to stress the fact that the Nativity is more than a movie and it's more than a book. It was a real experience where the Son of God was born. Christmas should be a time of joy, exceeding joy. However, it's often a time of extreme stress for families. Nerves are wrecked, and the preparation for family gatherings are both exciting and terrifying. You know what every grandparent wants to see? They want to see all families come together in just a beautiful time together without any of the siblings, your children, fighting. Without any of the grandkids fighting, the great-grandkids fighting. You know, the little fun type of fighting is okay, but I mean something serious. It's a terrifying time for a lot of families. Shouldn't be, but it is. The famous 19th century English preacher Charles Haddon Spurgeon tells the story of a minister who called upon a poor woman, intending to give her help financially, for he knew that she was poor and struggling. So with his money in his hand, he knocked at the door. But there came no answer. She didn't answer the door. He concluded that she was not at home, so he went on his way. A little later, at their next church service, he saw her at church and told her that he had remembered her need. I called at your house and knocked several times, and I suppose you were not at home, for I had no answer. At what hour did you call? sir," the lady said. "It was about noon." "Oh dear," she said. "I heard you, sir, and I am so sorry I did not answer, but I thought it was the man calling for the rent, and I didn't have the money to pay my rent." Now that sad but true story is being repeated all across America and around the world. But it's not about
Last
money.
night about a dollar bill, it was dark.
Yeah, it's not about the dollar bill, is it?
It was, no.
It's about something far deeper than the dollar bill. But that seems to be the case. This morning it's my desire for you to hear me. It's kind of comical when I wrote this. I didn't know that batteries was going to be dead on the wireless microphone. I didn't know I was going to use a wireless microphone in my shirt pocket. So, the Lord knew some things that I had no idea. But I want you to be able to hear me and listen to what I have to say. Not because I'm that gifted of a speaker, or not because I want to get something out of you or cause you to do something, not at all. It's not my desire to make a demand on you, but to bring you something. We're not going to talk about the law or duty or punishment, but about love and goodness and forgiveness and mercy and eternal life. All those things produce joy. So I invite you to open the door of your heart as the Lord Himself invites you to a conference concerning not happiness, but immediate and endless joy in the Lord. You see, He alone is the source of our strength, and it is Jesus who now invites us to receive, share with others this outpouring of divine grace and love and the eternal privilege He has for us. Happiness is an emotion. A lot of people mistake happiness for the joy of the Lord. That's not the joy of the Lord. Now, you can get excited with the joy of the Lord. You can get emotional with the joy of the Lord. But happiness is purely an emotion based on an experience. But the joy of the Lord is more than an emotion. We're going to look at that third candle they spoke of this morning in the Advent readings. And we're going to look at two different passages of Scripture this morning as I try to quickly share what the Lord has laid on my heart this week. We all make choices every day. We're going to look at Luke 2 and Mark 14. If you want to, they'll be on the screen, most of it, but if you want to put your fingers at Luke 2 and Mark 14. But we all make choices every day. We're presented with opportunities and challenges every day of our life. We're presented with situations as well as with heartaches. Beloved, we choose how we're going to see and act in every one of those situations. It reminds me of a story I ran across from an article in a Christian magazine by Carol Mayhall. And I quote, "I squirmed a bit as I forced myself to listen to my friend cataloging her problems. After 3 hours, I interrupted her gently to ask if you were to draw a circle to represent your life, what would be in the center? She thought a moment, then the lady said, my problems. She spoke the truth. A week later, the lady goes on and said, I sat across the hospital bed on which lay my younger sister, Joyce. She had just been diagnosed with acute leukemia. Her skin was gray and perspiring, with a swath of bandages encasing her throat for a biopsy. She talked to a student nurse who was interviewing terminally ill people to see if there was any way that she would be able to help them or anybody else would really be able to help and encourage them. Joyce said, I am a bit fearful of the pain in the process of dying, but I am not afraid of death. It'll be just a change of residence for me, said my sister. Her face radiant from within. For 45 minutes, she explained the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ to that student nurse. Afterward, I thought both my friend, the first one that had a circle with her problems in it, and my sister have serious problems. Yet one's walking in despair, and the other is walking in joy. What makes the difference? One had a bunch of problems, the other lady was dying. Then I realized what it was, the lady goes on to say. My friend's heart was occupied with her problems, while my sister's heart was occupied with the living God. I know we talked a little bit about the shepherds last week, but how do you pull the shepherds out of the whole Christmas story? You cannot. So already Luke 2:8's been said, and we're going to just look at it. And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over the flock by night. Throughout the history of Israel, shepherding was a noble profession in its beginning. Abel was the first to have the job of a shepherd, followed by Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, and of course David. God calls himself a shepherd, and we are called his sheep, the sheep of his flock. However, by the time we come to the first century, shepherding had lost its luster. Shepherds made up the lowest class of people, coming in just ahead of the lepers. In the Talmud, which is a collection of interpretations and insights from the rabbis, the Jewish rabbis, we read these words. No help is to be given to heathens or shepherds. Luke 2:9 and 10, that we've already saw this morning anyway. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you great tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. In order for us to understand how unusual it was to have angels to appear to these lowly shepherds, we need to learn just a little bit. You may already know this, but just to reiterate. Shepherds was considered ceremonially unclean, and that came out in Mindy's reading this morning. Because of the nature of their work, they were unable to attend any religious services. They were isolated and forgotten because their flocks needed to move around to find new grass and fresh water. They never stayed in one place for very long. Shepherds were treated with contempt and mistrust. They were suspected of stealing from others and would often confuse thine with mine. This was the history that had developed with the shepherds. Their testimony was never allowed in court because they were, quote, unreliable. Known to be brash and bold, living out in the fields, away from society, made them unappealing to most people. And most of them, sad to say, had foul mouths and would fight at the drop of the hat. That's what history tells us just prior to the time of Jesus' birth. Shepherds had went from a noble profession to not so noble. Yet God entrusted the greatest message ever given to mankind to a group of shepherds. Actually, it's not all that unusual. God has always worked wonders for the forgotten, for the despised, for the lowly. From the very beginning of time on earth, Jesus came to those who felt horrible, but they were humble. Matthew 9:11 says, But when the Pharisees saw this, they asked the disciples, Why does your teacher eat with such scum? When Jesus heard this, he said, Healthy people don't need a doctor. Sick people do. Then he added, Now go and learn the meaning of this scripture. I want you to show mercy and not offer sacrifices. For I have come to call not those who think they are righteous, but those who know they are sinners. Let me tell you something, folks. That was me. And that was every one of you at one point in time. Every one of us were born into sin. Jesus reached out to the sinners like Zacchaeus, to Levi, the tax collector, to prostitutes, to the demon-possessed, to strangers, and even to the horrible Samaritans that the Jewish people hated. Jesus reached out to them. He did in his ministry what the Father did in the borrowed stable when the lowly shepherds looked at the Lord as the cattle were lowing, as the song says. Mary captured this in her song recording in Luke chapter 2. And it's a praise, but I challenge you to go read that song. That the song or psalm that she, in fact, I don't think I can get by without doing it. I was going to just tell you to read, but it's in Luke 2, beginning in verse 45. If you want to follow along, you're sure welcome to. I rarely ever do this unless I feel like the Lord wants me Because if I was planning on doing it, I'd already have it pulled up. Luke 2. I don't like when I try to have those guys try to get it. Beginning in verse 45. And where's my glasses when I really need them? Verse 45. And blessed is she who believed, for there shall be. Man alive, I guess I'm not going to read it. Go back to what I started. Read it when you get home. How many will promise by the Lord help them? They'll read. The song starts in 45 and goes through, I think, 52 or 3. How many will read that?
It's right there.
All 3.
It's on the screen.
And when they found him not, they turned. Acts 2:40. Okay, back again. Jerusalem seeking him. Go the next one. Because we're going to.
Oh.
You actually want Luke 1.
Did I say 2?
Yeah.
And it says, I'm sorry. It's Luke 1. Thank you.
I was in a wreck. Where is it?
And Mary said, my soul doth magnify the Lord. Now, it's believed that she was singing this to Elizabeth. It's believed that she was singing this to Elizabeth. But whatever the case. And my spirit hath rejoiced in God my Savior. For he hath regarded the low estate of his handmaid. For behold, from henceforth all generations shall call me blessed. Now, pause there a moment. That is where Catholicism gets sanctifying Mary. That's not what it's saying. Every one of us better recognize that Mary was a chosen vessel of God, and she should be honored. Not prayed to. Honored. She was the mother of Jesus, the Son of God. For he that is mighty hath done to me great things, and holy is his name. Go to the next one. Well, those guys up there, I'm going to put them to it today. And his mercy is on them that fear him from generation to generation. He hath showed strength with his arm. He hath scattered the proud in the imagination. And well, that was my imagination going too fast. He hath put down the mighty from their seats and exalted them of low degrees. Okay, that's a beautiful song. You can still read it when you go home. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. That's kind of putting a lot on them because we're going to jump right into 1 Corinthians here. Think of where you were when God called you to salvation. Presence can bring happiness, but I remember where I was when God the Holy Ghost had such conviction on me in Southport, Indiana, on the south side of Indianapolis, when I gave my heart to Christ. The greatest event. Think about where you were when you give your heart to Christ. If you haven't given your heart to Christ, this is your day. This is your day. Remember, dear brothers and sisters, that few of you were wise in the world's eyes, or powerful, or wealthy when God called you. Instead, God chose things the world considers foolish in order to shame those who think they are wise. And he chose things that are powerless to shame those who are powerful. God chose things despised by the world, things counted as nothing at all, and used them to bring to nothing what the world considers important. As a result, no one could ever boast in the presence of God. You see, what's that saying? Everything we have is from God. Every blessing, every material blessing, every physical blessing, but most importantly, our eternal blessing. It all comes from God, not our own strength, not our own power. It all comes from God. It didn't say, now there were in the same region scribes keeping watch over their scrolls. The Lord comes to the lowly, to the most undeserving, to the neglected, to the marginalized, in order to show his power. So I've got 4 things I want to share quickly, or 3 things, I mean. The shepherds were attentive. And there were the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over the flock by night. The first thing they were doing was their job. You say, well, I have a lowly job. I don't have much, I'm not high on the rank. Let me tell you something. Whatever place God has placed you, do it with all your heart. They were so committed to their career that that they just never left their work. They not only worked the third shift, they pulled the first shift and the second shift as well. It was a 24/7 job that a shepherd did. We also see from this verse that they were faithful. It says they were keeping watch. Some of the pictures that I looked up to try to find it, was shepherds being completely like a group of them sitting and talking with each other. Not according to Scripture. We've got a shepherd in that little picture I found watching the sheep. We've got another one watching for whatever might come to harm the sheep. Interesting. One of the shepherds would literally lay across the entrance to make sure that none of the sheep would go out. In other words, if there was a small passage where they brought the sheep into a safe surrounding and had them kind of, encircled in there, he would lay across the entrance so the sheep couldn't get out. They would not step over him because he was their shepherd. John 10 says, those who heard Jesus use this illustration didn't understand what he meant, so he explained it to them. I tell you the truth, I am the gate for the sheep. All who come before me were thieves and robbers, but the true sheep did not listen to them. Yes, I am the gate. Those who come in through me will be saved, and they will come and go freely and will find good pastures. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd sacrifices his life for his sheep. God lays across the entrance of every soul.
Amen.
He does not want to lose one. He wants everybody to come to him. In the Amplified Colossians chapter 3, it says, whatever you do, whatever your task may be, work from the soul that is put in your very best effort as something done for the Lord and not for men, knowing with all certainty that it is from the Lord, not from men, that you will receive the inheritance which is your greatest reward. It is the Lord Christ whom you actually serve. So if you're working in a factory, now you actually work for Jesus. If you're cooking at home, you're actually cooking for Jesus. If you feel whatever you're taking and trying to get those guys to do what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it, that's still your job, I think, isn't it? You're working for Jesus. Amen. When my wife cooks my meals, she's working for Jesus. And when I eat them, I'm working for Jesus. Well, that might be a stretch. You may be thinking that God doesn't even know you exist, but he does. He has the hairs of our head numbered. He knows everything there is to know about us. And Emmanuel means God with us. And sometimes we need to remind ourselves that God is with us no matter what. God will meet you right where you are. You don't have to clean yourself up or on your own or act like someone that you're not. If you smell like a shepherd, Jesus will wash you up. If your sins are wiping you out, allow Jesus to lift them up. Heaven chooses to bring a message to the messed up, to the low achievers. The second thing, the shepherds were awed. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord showed around about them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said to them, fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. They were awed. While they were being attentive to the responsibilities they had, suddenly the angelic appearance, the angel appeared. Sore afraid. It means what it says. The Greek word used here is megas, which just means to fear greatly. They were terrified in our terminology, but that is why an angel goes right on and doesn't give them a chance to continue to dwell in that fear, because he said, fear not. Because I got good news for you guys. Really, really good news. Do you know that God is a holy God? Whenever we come face to face, whether it's in prayer or whether it's I came face to face with God and saw my sinfulness 42 years ago when I saw the ugliness of my life and the beauty of God. Anytime we come into His presence and He really makes Himself known, we are humbled beyond belief because we're allowed to see ourselves. He was sinless, and none of us have been sinless. When Simon Peter, in Luke 5, it says, when Simon Peter realized what happened, he fell to his knees before Jesus and said, "Oh Lord, please leave me. I'm such a sinful man." For he was awestruck by the number of fish they had caught, as were the others with them. The picture is Peter's getting ready to be called into the ministry. And he gets in the boat. They go out of the ways, and he teaches for hours. It's getting later in the afternoon, early evening, and at that point in time, everybody was tired. They had no fish because they had been entertaining this guy that was preaching to everybody on the shore. And so what Jesus said to him, he said, go out a little further and throw your nets down for a great catch. And they wanted to argue with him. He said it does, but they did what he said. A great gathering of fish took place. And then Jesus said to him, "This is nothing. I'll make you fishers of men." The Bible says they left their boat, their nets, and everything. They left it behind. They were all struck. These fishermen could also have been terrified because they didn't know if this was an angel of judgment or what. When they went out and gathered all those fish, they were overjoyed, but I guarantee you, they were still trying to figure out what's going to be this guy's next move. And he calls them into be his followers and his disciples. In Mark chapter 14, this leads into the last thing I have to share this morning. Meanwhile, Jesus was in Bethany at the home of Simon, a man who had previously had leprosy. While he was eating, a woman came in with a beautiful alabaster jar of expensive perfume made from the essence of nard. She broke open the jar and poured the perfume over his head. Some of those at the table were indignant. "Why waste such expensive perfume?" they asked. "It could have been sold for a year's wage and the money given to the poor." And that brings us to, she could not hide her joy. Can I just tell you, if you don't get anything else out of this message that I've stumbled through this morning, if you've got the joy inside, it will come out. You can't hide it. You can't put it down. It will show up. We are told only that she was a certain woman. Nothing more than that is known about this woman, either from history or the Bible. Though some tradition says that they believe it was Mary, the sister of Lazarus, of Mary and Martha. But can't prove it right or wrong. While we know very little of whom she was, what we know for sure is in pouring out that expensive perfume, she was pouring out her love for Jesus Christ. The perfume she poured out was like the head of the spring in the joy of her soul. This woman, whomever she was, must have come into contact with Jesus prior to this particular experience we read about. We can see that from her actions, she had to have known him. She clearly had a deep love for Jesus to pour out such a valuable treasure on him. She wasn't, as one Richard Ingersoll, atheist, said, she was a crazy woman. No, she wasn't a crazy woman. Today we celebrate the joy of the coming of Christ as a baby in the manger. We celebrate his coming. Let us celebrate that gift, the gift God has given us with joy. I'm afraid, though, that many of us have mistaken the lasting joy of Christ for the temporary happiness that the world must offer. Happiness is what happens to kids when they zoom down a water slide or get on their sled and slide down a hill. That's happiness. Happiness is what happens to us when we unwrap a present to find that the very thing that we were hoping to get, we got. That's happiness. Joy is what we pour out of ourselves each day from the reservoir of Christ's love dwelling in us. The difference between happiness and joy is as big as the difference between a collection of mud puddles and the Great Lakes. Some years ago, the managers of the Young Men's Christian Association missed a great opportunity by not knowing the value of a certain painting. This is a true story. A friend of the institution had given a picture for the walls of the building, not having suitable room for it in his own home anymore. Do you know what that picture was worth? The man only wanted $25. He said, "Can you give me $25 for this picture?" And they said, No. Not long afterwards, the man died. In diagnosing of the estate, his executors took the picture from the building and sent it to an auction house. There, it was soon recognized as a work of a master and finally identified. $35,000 was offered for it, and later, $50,000 was offered for the picture that the man only wanted $25 from the Salvation Army, Young Men's Christian Association, YMCA. How often do we underestimate the value of lasting Christian joy? Happiness is good, but joy is so much better. Happiness is a result of fun and excitement. Joy is a byproduct of the King of Kings living in our soul. This Christmas season, listen, open up, and allow God to bring you joy. I shared this, I think, on Wednesday night, and I close with this. Some of you who's been here a long time, you know my father-in-law, Kenneth Connor. I believe one of the greatest reasons I am a Christian and that we have the beautiful marriage we have is because my father-in-law prayed me into the kingdom and his own daughter back into the kingdom. But this fall, back in October, there was a gospel singing fall festival that my sister-in-law, my wife's sister Marlena, and her husband Lenny were at, and their group was to do some singing along with some other groups. Tom, you guys have gone to a lot of those type of singings, where there's several groups. Well, Lenny and Marlena were waiting for the group to finish up, and then their group was to come on and sing. The last song, though, that they were singing, just before they started singing the last song, they announced this will be our last song. Marlene was looking for her dad, for Kenneth Connor. He'd been sitting right up front, and now he was gone, and she became terrified. She knew that where this was at was an outdoor event, that there was a big ravine, and she thought, oh my, I hope he didn't fall off that ravine and go down there. He could be. And so she was kind of panicking, and she said, Lenny, I don't see him. You see him? I don't see him. Well, they started singing, and Marlene had told Lenny, she said, I think I'm going to have to go look for him, Lenny. But they started singing this song, and I think I put the words on the slide, guys. But maybe I did. And I'm not going to sing it for you. Trust me, I'm not going to sing it. But this is what they started singing. I can't take a heart that's broken, make it over again. But I know a man who can. I can't take a soul that's sin sick, make it white as snow. But I know a man who can. Now, this is spontaneous joy. This is my father-in-law has got dementia. He sometimes doesn't know what he's doing. He no longer can drive, and he still loves the Lord. But Marlene was just getting ready to leave the platform when all of a sudden, way back, there's a big crowd way back. She heard somebody throw both hands up in the air and said, I know that man! I know that man! And then they kept on singing, and he just kept doing it as he was coming closer to the front. I know that man! And then the chorus says, some call him Savior, the Redeemer of all men. I call him Jesus, for he's my dearest friend. I know that man! If you feel that no one loves you and your life is out of hand, I know that man! Oh, every time they brought that up, he kept saying, I know that man! I know that man! As he was weeping and coming toward the front. I can't walk upon the water or calm the troubled sea, but I know a man who can. I know that man. And I can't cause blind eyes to open or make the lame to walk again, but I know a man. Do you know that man? Yeah. I'm telling you, I know that man. This Christmas season, everybody's tired, everybody's stressed. If we could just for a few moments shove everything off the table, everything out of our life, and just say, I know that man. He's the one to redeem me. I know that man. He's the one to change my life. I know that man. He's the one who's blessed my home and given me a wife and a beautiful home. I know that man. And Father God, we thank you that we know. And we know that we know that man. The man that redeems our life from destruction. The man